Hello everyone, welcome back to Weaving Web3. I'm here with a very exciting guest, Matt Hamilton from Protocol Labs, and we're here to talk about Filecoin and why it's so amazing and what it makes it different to all the other types of data storage that we have.
So Filecoin is a decentralized storage platform. It's the largest decentralized storage platform in the world, and it allows you to store data in a verifiable manner. It means you can actually be ensured that your data is actually being stored, it hasn't been lost, it hasn't been tampered with, which is great for a number of use cases, especially if you're trying to archive data or you need data that has to be used for some sort of regulatory or legal purposes. You can ensure that it hasn't been changed.
Why does it need to be decentralized? Why can't we just have it on cloud servers? Why is this fractionalization into users important?
So, as we are growing into more and more of an information-centric world, the ability to access data becomes more and more important, right? And if you have data stored on a centralized platform somewhere, you've got to one of the big name tech companies, for example, there's a potential that it could be censored, it could be shut down, and you might have a situation where that data is no longer accessible or it's been deleted for whatever reason. From anything from some government censorship through to your credit card expired and it got deleted.
So basically you're preventing that single point of failure, but as well as users, let's say from the knowledge that I have, users can offer up their storage space and earn Filecoin in return. Is that correct?
So yes, I mean, in terms of users offering up storage space, it's mainly kind of large-scale data center storage providers. It's not really like a couple of hard drives in your closet type thing. These are large, like petabyte scale organizations storing, very seriously large amounts of data.
That's fascinating. So, why would someone want to use Filecoin as a storage provider compared to, let's say, other places that may offer storage provisions?
So, one of the key things is the verifiability. So, what happens is when data is stored on the Filecoin network, every 24 hours, the storage provider has to prove to the network using a zero-knowledge proof system that they still have the data and they haven't lost it. So that's kind of one of the main key features of the network.
That's fascinating. So what could I do as an individual to participate within the Filecoin ecosystem? How would you like to see, let's say, developers, hackers, and users incorporate Filecoin into their projects?
So there's a number of areas. One is with regards to like the onboarding and access of data. So either tooling that enables users to store data on Filecoin, maybe integrated in with existing systems that they might have, or ways in which they can access data as well from the Filecoin network in a way that is more convenient to them, depending upon what their actual application is. The other is around actually the storage economy side of things. So on the Filecoin network, we now have the Filecoin virtual machine, which is a smart contract platform, and the Filecoin Ethereum virtual machine, which gives you an EVM-compatible layer, so you can write your smart contracts in Solidity and use tooling that you're already familiar with from the Ethereum ecosystem. And you can actually build DeFi protocols that use storage as the underlying collateral.
How does that work?
Sure. So say you're a storage client and I'm a storage provider.
Yes.
You want to store some data with me. So you say, hey, I've got 10 gigabytes of data I want to store for a year. We agree a price. Now, you have to pay in the Filecoin token, the FIL token, a fee. I have to also put up some collateral against that as well. And that's in case I lose your data, I would forfeit that collateral. That would be slashed. So when I put up that collateral, you put up that fee. Those two amounts are put in together into like effectively an escrow smart contract. And the fee is drip fed to me over the space of a year, in this case for the sourcing. If I can't prove to the zero-knowledge proof system every 24 hours that I've got your data, then that starts to be basically slashed from me. So as a storage provider, in order for me to store your data, I've got to have that FIL token like readily available.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now with these DeFi systems on Filecoin, I can actually borrow that from the market. So individual holders of the Filecoin token can put their tokens into like a common lending pool, and I can then borrow from that. I will then pay that back with interest, and that interest can then be passed on to the lenders.
That makes a lot of sense. So let's say I lose your data. Is it gone forever, or is it like, because it's a centralized manner, let's say it's copied in at someone else's, let's say, server or provider?
So again, one of the things that's probably slightly different with Filecoin versus a lot of other systems is that Filecoin is not really prescriptive as to how many replicas or how exactly you arrange the data on the network. So in most cases, people will store it with multiple storage providers to have that resilience and that redundancy, such that if it disappears off of one, it's still available for others to then access. However, that's entirely up to you. So you can choose to have one replica, 10 replicas, whatever. It's entirely up to you.
Okay. So I also heard you talk about something about interplanetary scale. I've never heard of it. Is that part of this similar to?
Yeah. So we've got a project called IPC, Interplanetary Consensus. And IPC is a scalability layer for Filecoin. So Filecoin is a layer 1 network. And sort of nowadays, most people are wanting networks that are faster, cheaper, can do more transactions. But also they want networks that are more flexible, right? Now, on a layer 1 network, if you want to make a change to that network and the way it operates, you generally have to get consensus of all of the parties on the network, which is generally a very difficult and time-consuming thing to do, and often not appropriate because you just want to make a change that is specific to your use case. So IPC allows you to create effectively sub-networks, sub-blockchains off of the main network that you can customize. So you might want to access specific hardware or specific features that are not available directly within, say, an EVM sandbox.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So what could I build on that I wouldn't be able to usually build?
So a good example is there's a project called Fluence that is launching their main network very shortly. And Fluence is a decentralized compute network. And they are building on top of IPC and using the technologies of IPC to build their own network that is tailored specifically for decentralized compute.
Okay, that's really interesting. So it's like that something like this would never be able to be essentially made on like a centralized service.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So how would you see Filecoin used in the future? What would you like to see?
I think one of the things with a lot of these technologies is the ultimate goal is that they're used so ubiquitously that you don't even realize you're using them.
Yeah.
Right? And Filecoin, every project needs storage, right? So Filecoin is in a great position to be utilized by a bunch of projects. So you might be using something and not even realize that you're using Filecoin. And I think that's kind of like the key point. And if we can get to that point where it's used, as a backend for other storage systems, other front-end systems, and you don't even realize, then I think that'll be the great situation to be in.
That's fascinating. So, my head's slightly blown because this is really, really fascinating what you told me. And is there anything else that you want to get across that maybe I haven't asked yet?
No, I think so. I think you've touched on a lot of stuff there.
Well, that's perfect. Well, I really appreciate it. It's been such a fascinating conversation. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for being my friend.
Thanks a lot.